You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that.
It's time to talk about it.
Pull up a chair and take a seat.
We're serving up recipes for life.
With Hampton University's Dr. Richard Mason and Dr. Tamara Williams.
Welcome to the Sunday Brunch.
This is Dr. Tamara Williams.
And this is Dr. Richard Mason, and welcome back to the table for another edition of Sunday Brunch with the good doctors.
The good doctors.
It's so good to be back at the table as always.
I love dining with you and our guests, so I'm excited to be back at the table as well, for sure.
That's good. So how's your week been?
It's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. Not at all what I anticipated, but I'm thankful in how it ended and that all is well, and you know that we're here at the table having the opportunity to start our new week again.
Exactly.
It was
That's
full
for
of
sure.
surprises. I can say that. My week was full of surprises.
That's right. But I'm glad the surprises were, or should I say, ended on a positive note.
Amen to that. That's
Definitely
what,
glad
yes.
about that, because some things could have gone another way, as they always say.
Listen. I reached a different level of my relationship with the Lord last week, and I learned to pray a little bit differently. It might have been a little touched in the way that I was praying. It was more definitive than before. Like sometimes it's like a question, will you please? And it was more like, this is what I say. This is, and I was really asking him to follow along with that, because that's what I needed to happen at that time. And I'm thankful that I have good people that surround me too, and good family that was able to jump in there in the midst of storms, because storms happen to all of us.
Listen, without a doubt. And, you talk about that prayer life. There's situations in life that will cause your prayer life to change. You learn to be more targeted in your prayers.
Very specific. Yes, very
exactly.
specific.
And that's why even as you pray, people always say, I'm praying for you. We might not be praying for the same. We might not be praying for the same thing. I have specific asks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My prayers have missions.
And I have prayer warriors.
Exactly.
I have people who I specifically, and there's a lot of people who I am friendly and I show up in their lives, but when things are happening in my life, they're not involved, because that is not the role that they play.
Right.
And so often, when I have situations that are really happening in my life, the hardest thing is really managing the emotions of other people versus managing my own, and trying to help other people not be offended in what I specifically need. Because when I have things happen in my life, I don't need a whole lot of people in my face.
Right. Unfortunately, people make your situation about them sometimes. When you say, I was going through this. Why ain't you call me? Why didn't you do such and such?
You to do what?
Because I was going through at the time.
and what was happening in my life wasn't even about me specifically.
Right.
So
right.
I really needed to manage other people, to keep my people safe and in a good place, in a good space. And I needed to be focused on other people and not really focused on the people who wanted to help. And so I am thankful that I have even people around me who don't take my silence or my absence personal.
And those people know who you are. You know what I mean?
They better know it.
And that's it. And they know how you handle things. They know how you manage things. And that's a plus. When you have those people in your life who understands you, or should I say, who gets it, who gets you, you know what I mean? That's your tribe. And they know how to function, and they know how to show up for you. And that's the piece.
And they did. And I was very thankful for that. So that is not today's conversation. But, I do like us to have those conversations too, because when people see us in public, they don't realize that we are just regular people too.
Mm-hmm.
That we have families, that we have responsibilities outside of just what hearing us Sundays at 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's other parts to our lives that happen too. And what life happens in life is really life.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have a time clock on it. It's not
Right.
always respectful, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, life be lifing, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yes. Yes, but I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer that it's not what happens necessarily. It's really
Mm-hmm.
how you respond to things. And so
Mm-hmm.
as I've aged, as I've grown, like I always tell you, I really prefer to be that thermostat versus the
Mm-hmm.
thermometer and being able to control the temperature, not just outside, but also
Mm-hmm.
within. It makes me
Mm-hmm.
feel better to be at that 74.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You manage those things that you can, and you maneuver around those that you can. That's
Mhm.
all you can do.
Periods every single day.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
listen, I need you to head to the buffet as I get ready to introduce this guest that we have today because
Look,
I
y'all,
don't
she
want to
said that because
say,
she saw me standing up, because she saw me with my plate in my hand.
yes, yes. Look, I'm not, and I could use some bacon today.
Mm-hmm. Got you
And
covered.
I need you to get over there before, you know,
Mm-hmm.
while it's there. And you know what else I like too.
That biscuit and honey butter, I got you.
That's I need it in my life. I need it in my life. And when it's so funny because when I see people in public, they want to know, do we really eat? And I let them know
Mhm. Yeah, look, you hear me, don't you?
Yeah.
look, as you are chewing at this very moment, we do get it in. We do get it in. That's the whole point of brunch.
Yeah.
That's the
Exactly,
whole point
Yeah.
of
exactly.
brunch.
Yeah.
Well, you go ahead and introduce our guest. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this buffet
I
table.
know they've been hearing them chuckling and laughing the whole time we've been starting the show. Normally they don't hear our guests and we mute their mics before we jump in and introduce them. But this is so they know that we really truly are
Mhm,
having brunch. And
Yes.
it's just a natural conversation. I am excited about our topic today. We have
mhm,
brought many educators to the table before, but we are in a dire
mhm,
need for male educators and not just male educators, African American, Black
mhm,
men that are worthy of modeling like educators. We need them to really jump in there and do that. And so I have recently bumped into one of Hampton City School's great educators. And
mhm,
I know you have known him much longer than I have, but I
mhm,
have recently gotten to become an acquaintance of this young man. And
mhm,
I wanted to invite him on the show because I wanted to know what brought him into the field of education. And also, I
mhm.
was hoping that it would inspire other people to jump in and do this heart work that we talk about.
Yes.
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 And we need this. And what I find so amusing to me is like when I saw him, he was in service. Let me tell you,
Mhm,
when I saw this young man, he was working and he was in service. And he was on the floor cleaning up a mess that, I couldn't, not that he had to be down there doing it, but he got down there so quickly and was of
mhm,
such a great help and service. I said, to be flexible at any age is nice.
mhm,
But he was really down there working hard. So once I inquired what he did for a living, I found
mhm,
out that he has plenty of floor time.
mhm.
Plenty of floor time in his occupation.
Yeah.
Plenty of floor time as a second grade teacher that he needs to be able to get down there to on the level of those babies and love with
Right.
them and
Yes.
work with them. And so I want to welcome to our Sunday brunch table for the first time, and I'm quite
Mhm,
sure will not be the last time. Walt
mhm.
Jones. Walt Jones.
Yes.
Walt
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Jones
you.
from Hampton,
Thank
Yes.
you.
Virginia. Walt Jones.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you for
Sunday
having me.
brunch.
Yes, thank you for having me at the Sunday's brunch. I want to thank you, Dr. Williams, and Dr. Richard Mason for having
Mhm.
me on such a great platform. I'm honored to be here, and once again, I'm thankful for being here.
Great, great. It's always great to have some good people at the table, and you,
Yes.
my brother, you're always welcome at my table.
Oh,
Yes.
and that speaks volumes because he often does not like to dine with just everybody.
Yeah.
He is a
Listen,
people person, and And it's the truth that you can't invite everybody to your table.
Yeah.
And we are responsible for this platform. We really like
Mm-hmm.
to invite, not that everybody's going to always be positive, but we do enjoy having
Mm-hmm.
conversations that are positive conversations
Mm-hmm.
that are going to be life altering conversations for some people.
Yes.
There's a lot of young men that aspire to be many different things, but not all of them, when you were to survey a room, will say, I want to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to
Absolutely.
work with young people. I want
Mm-hmm.
to change little lives before they
Mm-hmm.
become big lives. I want to really impact that. So we had
Mm-hmm.
to have you at the table because we want to know, like, how how did you get to who is Walt Jones, and how did you get to being a second grade teacher?
Right,
Yes,
right.
it was definitely a roundabout situation. You know, life, we can't choose the path that we on. We just sometimes just got to go with it or just go with the flow. And sometimes some things will push you forward or knock you back to get on the
Mm-hmm.
right path. So I always was basically, I graduated from Bethel High School '03 and Norfolk State, behold, Norfolk State University.
Let me
Oh,
let me
You
let
see
me
how
let me
he threw
stop
that
you.
in there?
I'm gonna stop you right here now. Okay. Now, see, that's how you get exited from the table. We don't behold. We don't behold nothing at this table. You understand what I'm saying? So now continue to tell people who Walt is, okay? But we not beholden.
Listen, well, I'm
don't
not
kick
gonna
me
mess
off.
with
Don't
you.
kick me
I'm
off.
not gonna
Don't
mess with you.
kick.
Well, I'm not mad that you went to Norfolk State. I appreciate that you were a product of Hampton City Schools.
Yes,
Yes, we can rest
yes,
there. We can rest
yes, yes.
there. All right.
Okay. As they see, we've always rivals, but we can still get along, right?
Yes, when we work towards the same purpose. When
Yes,
you think
yes,
about the
yes,
service in the community,
yes.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
the
It's
labor
been, it's
is
been,
plentiful. The workers are few.
Yes,
yes.
it's been really a great journey. Um, ever since the George Floyd travesty that happened, something
Mm-hmm.
just sprung off in me to be more into the community, even more, and more. I wanted to give more, wanted to do more, wanted to give more, wanted to do more. So we started off with Black and Blue. That was actually my first march, bringing the community and the police department together
Mm-hmm.
in Hampton, and we actually came from the spot around Hampton University, and we
Mm-hmm.
marched down to City Hall, and that was the first time I
Mm-hmm.
actually met Dr. Richard Mason. We
Mm-hmm.
were in the same march together,
Yeah.
and that was my first time. And then I did quite a few other community events. Then my next
Mm-hmm.
time it was Feeding the 5,000. There was another community event of a young
Mm-hmm.
lady. I believe she might be in city council now. I don't want to say her name wrong, but I saw Dr. Richard Mason at that too. So it was just
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of times our paths will cross and we might have not even communicated that we were even going to be at this event. It'd be like, okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here, he's here. Wow, it's just amazing. So I did a lot of community work and feeding the 5,000 from Richmond. I did
Mm-hmm.
marches with the community, police, council members, school board members, you name it. Community cleanups, voter
Mm-hmm.
registration. I just been really in the mix since that situation happened. And sometimes it just takes that fire to light up under you and do that. And I feel like kids and the youth was my passion. I worked at the Family Restoration Services with at-risk youth
Mm-hmm.
for about a year as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of really was like, okay, this is my passion, full circle, full circle.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do that I know I'm going to love to do where I'm going to be an impact in the community like I need to be an impact? So I kept on thinking and thinking. And I thought about the school system. I was in DC doing project management jobs and a
Mm-hmm.
director of maintenance down there for about 3.5 years. And there's something
Mm-hmm.
in me said, come back home, come back home, come back home.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back
Director of
home.
maintenance. So where did you go to Norfolk State to major in?
Business management, kind of like management information systems, MIS. Went there. I played football for a few years at Norfolk State
Okay,
as
so you
well.
skipped over quite a bit. So you're
Yeah.
athlete too.
hmm Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, yep. I had my oldest daughter with me my senior year, and one thing I do love about our HBCUs, my professors understood that,
Mm-hmm.
and I was bringing her. She was such a quiet baby. I was
Mm-hmm.
bringing her to class with me, and it was just like the professors won't say, "Oh no, you have to get out of my class." It was more like, "Oh, bring that baby up here to me." So it was more like one thing I just I don't regret anything. I love my journey. I love the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful to be here.
Right,
Yeah,
right. That's good. Now, see, I'm gonna tell you, um, what Walt didn't tell y'all when he first told me he was going to DC. I'm going for this job and everything. I said, mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, he did. Yes, he did. He'll be back.
He
He'll be
trying to
back.
say DC choose you up and send you
No,
back.
that's not where his heart was. That's not where his
Okay.
passion lies, you know. And I know you follow a journey sometimes because that's what's required, you know. Because you have to feed your family. You have to do
Yes.
those things that, hey, I've got to earn a living. And that's one of the things that I also look at, because we're going to talk a little bit more about, take a deeper dive as we talk about males, and especially African American males, becoming teachers, especially elementary school teachers, is based on what you can do. And sometimes that's the challenge in terms of the salary,
Yeah.
you
Mm.
know,
Yes.
and that's something that we have worked towards within Hampton City Schools, but it's nationwide, you
Yes.
know, trying to
Yes.
get our African American men in education at that elementary school level. We have to make sure that we are providing a sustainable salary so that they can take care of a family. Typically,
Mhm.
most of our African American men are at the high school level, typically because you're involved in coaching. There's some clubs and activities that involve supplemental incomes. So that's
Mhm.
where you see most of our African American men, but we really do need more of them at our
That
elementary school
developmental
level.
stages. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, so that our kids can see other people like them. You understand what I'm saying? And there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with
Outside of
them
just
seeing
a court
others.
or a
Right.
field.
Exactly.
Yes.
You want to make sure that they can see folks. But Walt said he was going, hey, I'm good. It's good job, good money. Good job, good money. I said, uh-huh. But I don't hear your passion in that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You talking about the good
Yes.
job and good money. Mm-hmm. Trust and believe.
Yep. Here I
You
am.
had to bring it on back. Well, I'm glad you listened to yourself in
Mm-hmm.
that regard of, what makes you tick then. So
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
you said that really what got you involved with the community was the George Floyd incident. It was something
Mm-hmm.
about that prompted or promoted you to jump forward. And so then you realized that you really wanted to work with at-risk kids. And so I think that plays a part in the school that you are at as well, right?
Yes, yes. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Title I school. It's Mary Peak Elementary School. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been a second grade teacher there. This is my first year teaching with HES.
Mm-hmm.
I got the SEL awards, a few shout outs and awards there. But I'm happy to be there as well. And you can see that in elementary school, like you guys said, like they really need the African American men there because you can
Mm-hmm.
see the difference with the kids. You know, the ones well, the men that really are going to be there to care. I mean, we all have to care for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Mm-hmm.
really need to see that presence there because you can see the difference with the kids. Something they might not have been seeing at home, they can see
Mm-hmm.
in the school. They can see how a man is supposed to come. I come 95% of the time, unless it's like a spirit week or something like that where I'm with
Mm-hmm.
the team. I come just like I am now. Nine
Mm-hmm.
times out of ten, the only reason y'all don't want to see Matai because we're doing brunch and I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
get everything too messed up.
But you
I'll put it
typically
on a
wear
little
tie
later.
your suit and tie every day with the littles?
Yes, I always make
The
sure I have
second graders, it's suit and tie.
yep, suit
Mm-hmm.
and tie every day. I want them to see um, that it's what success looks like, what you're striving to be. Like you want to come,
Mm-hmm.
you want to dress, you want to feel good, look good. And
Mm-hmm.
back then they used to say play good, but at this point
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying teach good. So I try to put all that together so they can
Mm-hmm.
see a different side of things and they can
Mm-hmm.
incorporate that into what they're trying to do.
Exactly. That is awesome. So tell me, who were the people in your life that influenced you?
Well, my family really
Mm-hmm.
influenced me a lot. Uh, just
Mm-hmm.
off the journey, I'm a direct descendant of William Tucker, and it's the William
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Society. He was the first African American child born in the English colonies, and we
Mm-hmm.
have our family cemetery right
Mm-hmm.
there, in kind of inside of Aberdeen almost,
Mm-hmm.
and we also have everything Comfort, Fort Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
So basically seeing them through the years and our story being told and us
Mm-hmm.
going places to see more history and meet more people. Because I look
Mm-hmm.
at it like, and like my family, like we all come from somewhere. So it's
Mm-hmm.
good that you know you can come where you come from,
Mm-hmm.
and you can keep on going with that. So I got a lot of that from they've been showing me without showing me, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they've been telling me with telling me. So it's like I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of that from my family, mentors I look up to. Even since I started my community journey, they don't know about it, but they're gonna know about it now. Yourself, Dr. Richard Mason, just on how you carry yourself in the community when we first met,
Mm-hmm.
and you were out there in the trenches in the community. A few others that are in city council or maybe being
Mm-hmm.
school board. I don't know if they want me to say their names, but
Go tell it
they
to
Look,
they
it's not a
know they
secret.
look um Ali and Stephanie
Stephanie
Afalji.
Fawcett.
I did
Mm-hmm.
family
Mm-hmm.
restorations with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a step grandmother. She was like the head of Gethsemane Baptist Church back then, as far as the daycare stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as like mentoring youth and being a counselor, all of them
Mm-hmm.
I can look to. At back then, it was vice president before I left the DC.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, vice mayor Jimmy Gray. He's the mayor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People I looked up to. A lot of it's so many people. I don't want to miss any, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
you guys are came before me. So like the young kids say, "Oh, you paved the way for me." Like,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of you guys did that. And so sometimes looking from afar, people might
Mm-hmm.
not know you looking, but people always are looking. So
Mm-hmm.
being in a situation where I'm like, okay, these people, you look around and you look at who values some of the same things as you. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
that's how life is, I guess. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
looking around and you in the trenches in the community and you see yourself, or you might even
Mm-hmm.
see a Congressman Scott, like we did March of the Newport News,
Mm-hmm.
from the
Mm-hmm.
Piggly Wiggly all the way down to King Lincoln Park. And
Mm-hmm.
I had vans and stuff to take people back. He walked back. He walked
He
back
sure
by
did.
himself. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that you would do or we'd do, and all that
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes. So a lot of people in my area, my family, and a lot of you guys, without even knowing it, has been mentors to me in this
Mm-hmm.
journey on community and starting to see what's right. Even though it might have been a bump in pay a little bit, but I feel like everything's been working out because I really
Mm-hmm.
love what I do. I don't have to kill my body doing other stuff for the money,
Mm-hmm.
which you don't
Mm-hmm.
even see because you on call or you working
Mm-hmm.
95% of the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do. I want to keep on going higher. And yes, a lot of you all paved the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hear what he said. He wants to keep going higher, so he's not
Mm-hmm.
planning on staying in the classroom, particularly. You plan on trying to move
Mm-hmm.
into administration too and make some policy changes. And I hear you.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the bigger picture all the way around. I'll
Good.
stay where I'm needed, but at the
Hmm.
same time, I want to keep on going because it's just a different side when you're in the teaching realm. I thought I had major respect for teachers, but we can times that by 100 at this point because it's so much that you would never think in my mind a project manager, a elementary school teacher will probably be doing more work than
Mm-hmm.
certain project managers. And that says a lot
Oh,
when you're talking
yes.
about
Oh, yes,
budgeting
indeed.
money, millions of
Mm-hmm.
money or
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like we're working harder. We are in the
Mm-hmm.
trenches. You got to deal with the kids. You got to deal with the parents. You might have to deal with
Mm-hmm.
your admins at the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody got different stories, but to see it on the
Mm-hmm.
inside and just to
Right.
see what the teachers go through as a teacher, it speaks volumes to me. So yes,
And
eventually
you have to show up
help change it.
consistently as a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. You got to show up
Right.
consistently for
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
long periods of time. When you are,
Mm-hmm.
at a different level in corporate world, you can maneuver your schedule a little bit sometimes and throw in little breaks when you want to. But
Hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you're teaching,
Mm-hmm.
that's
And
front line
it's
right
a
there.
well, and it's a
Yes.
difference because I will say this: in other professions, you can there's an off switch sometimes.
Hmm.
There is an off switch, but when you're in education, there is no
Mm-mm.
off switch because if you live in the community where you teach, guess what? You're going to run into the parents, you're going to run into the students and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And they'll see you out and go, hey, Mr. Jones, hey, Mr.
Yeah.
Jones. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Mr. Jones can't be out in the community wilding out. You,
Yeah.
you know what I
No.
mean?
Yes.
Because guess what?
Please, Mr.
Those
Jones,
kids are
please.
Yes.
looking. They
Yes.
see you. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so they're modeling they're looking at you and how you're modeling certain behaviors, how you handle certain situations, and
Yes.
that's that part, doing good when no one else is looking, or at least when you think they're not looking,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
it.
And
Teachers
little
don't
kids
have
are
that.
always
Hmm.
looking. Little
Yeah.
kids are always looking.
Yeah,
Yes.
teachers don't have that flexibility. They always have to be on. That's the reality of it all. And
Yes.
so we're certainly thankful. I know I'm thankful
I know
for
you
for
are.
the work that our teachers do. They show up
Yes.
every day, and
Every
in the
day.
midst of even their own stuff. And that's why I
That's
tell
the real
people
part.
our teachers have families. They have their own stuff going on, and yet they show up every day. You
Every
know?
day. But
Mm-hmm.
them teachers was praying for a tornado the other day.
Yeah.
Listen.
You know what I say? Those teachers and the students was praying for a tornado.
Yeah.
As the chair of the psych department, I sent my faculty a message and I asked them, which one of y'all told the students that they had to have an exam on Monday when they came back from spring break? Which one of y'all told them that they were testing? Because you had these students out there praying for a tornado,
Yes.
weather that we don't even normally receive.
Right,
Yes.
right. And I do want to say to the listening community, um, we don't have a weather machine. We don't control Mother Nature or anything like that or whatever.
Not at all.
When we get the data that says this is going to happen, you
Yes.
know, we have to make decisions based on the data.
A risk
And so,
analysis.
right. And
Period.
the
Yes.
reality is, I'm not going to put children at risk. I'm not going
Come
to
Period.
on.
put teachers at risk.
Teachers.
Yes.
So if the
Yes.
Yes.
weatherman is saying we're going to get a tornado at 10 o'clock and it's right there in the middle of school, no, the kids are going to stay home. Hunker down.
Mhm.
Be safe. If
Yeah.
the sun is shining and we don't get it, okay, chalk that one up. The weatherman didn't get it right. But guess what? I'm not willing to take a risk with somebody's life,
Yes.
Mm-mm.
for something like that or whatever. So all of y'all who put out those social media posts, just laughing, we just got some rain. Kids didn't go to school because of
Whatever.
rain. It's like, get over yourself. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
It's
Yes.
Safety
about
first. Safety
safety.
first. And some of you may
Safety.
say, hey, we're joking, this, that, and the other, whatever. No, because there's some people out there who take that stuff serious. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
so I don't think we need to, one, play games with someone else's life.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's the reality of it all. We have to make sure that we're keeping our kids safe. That's one of our number one priorities,
Yes.
safety.
And the
Safety.
decisions are not made frivolously.
No,
And
not at all.
not at all. And that is why the days are placed in the calendar for these types of emergencies that, and you guys have been very, very wise as a parent,
Yes.
also, very wise. And I can be honest, I was very thankful to have Monday off. It felt like a mental health day.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Definitely did.
and I was thankful. I was good with it.
Yes.
Rain, hail, sleet, snow. I was good with it.
Yes.
I was
Mm-hmm.
good with it. And I just thank the Lord for that's okay. I hear
Yeah.
you. I needed to be still today. And sometimes
Yes.
people just need to be still.
There you go.
Right.
Better be
Mm-hmm.
safe than sorry.
What?
And I
Yeah.
will always, like I said, look at safety first. That's the
Yes.
position that I take, and I know my colleagues take the same mindset. We're not
Yes.
going to put anyone in harm's way. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the
and this
bottom
is the
line.
time to insert the conversation about what type of jobs afford you to have those type of luxuries and make those decisions. And so a lot of times when people are unhappy is because they don't have those types of positions that allow them to be away from work and still get paid. And so,
Mm-hmm.
that is something that we also have to consider when we're thinking about and choosing and making those decisions as to where we want to place
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. As teachers and in education, you may not make as much money as you do in other fields, but it does afford you other types of benefits
Mm-hmm.
of
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
having spring breaks, of having
Mm-hmm.
summers, of having Christmas breaks, of having paid days when you are, essentially out because of weather or other aspects. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
conversation.
Teachers are so important. I tell
Absolutely.
folks, when you look at Krista McCullough said years ago, and that was one of the astronauts who went up in space, and she was a part of the I think it was the Challenger that blew up. Unfortunately, we lost a great mind. She was an educator that went up, and she made a statement. I touch the future because I teach. And so that's
Mhm.
always been such a powerful statement for me.
Yeah.
Because you won't have doctors, you won't have lawyers, you won't have engineers unless you have teachers. You
You
understand?
won't have anybody.
Exactly. It all starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
And when you have especially at the elementary level, a teacher who lay that foundation, that makes a big difference. I talk about my elementary school teachers all the time. I talk about my
Mhm.
middle school teachers. I talk about my high school teachers as well. But my elementary school teachers, I think back to my fifth grade teacher, and I've been fortunate to reconnect with her through the
Mhm.
years, and some of the certificates that I have, my mother saved everything. Okay.
Oh my
I
word.
still have some of the, certificates scoring 100% on the county math assessment and stuff like
Come
that
on.
or whatever. And I shared that with her, and she's like, "Oh my God, you still have that?" I said, "You knew my mother." She said, "Yep, I can believe." And so we laugh about that, but I'm thankful for Miss Adams, Janice Adams, who was one of, that fifth grade teacher who inspired a love of learning. My parents did that as well, but to have teachers who support that love, and I think
Mhm.
that's been a big part of what has kept me going and always wanting to give back and do more and be a part of, education.
Yeah.
My
So.
my drive to be in education is a little bit different than that. Mine is more about the people I encountered who wanted to tell me what I wouldn't be able to do, and
Mm,
who wanted to speak other things into me. And so I really enjoy being at HBCU so that I can look at those faces that look like my faces and speak life into them
hmm
instead of impeding doom or death, and that I can have expectations for them that exceed the expectations that others have for them, because some
hmm
people don't expect much from them because they don't expect
hmm
much from us as a people. And so
hmm
my push in education is a little bit different, but it's still that love and drive to
hmm
you want more, you want better,
hmm Right.
you want
hmm
better.
And I tell
And when we
I
know
was
better, we can do
right.
better.
And see, I tell
Come
folks
on.
I was
Come on.
fortunate from elementary school. I talked about Miss Adams, and I had a great principal, Dr.
Mhm.
Robert Siegel. And I tell people, I was in a school division that um, it was a lot of different cultures and all, and it was majority white. But I will say this, at my elementary school, Dr. Siegel was doing DEI work before it was called DEI. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because he made all of us feel heard and represented in his school. And so I will always be thankful, for him listening, being that listening ear. And I don't even know if he realized what he was doing back then, but he was doing it, and it made such a big difference. And I would say those types of things, that foundation at that elementary school level, I think put us in a place to be able to look at how we were going to take on the world, and manage these things. And so I'm forever grateful to, like I said, Miss Adams and Dr. Siegel for the foundation that they put in my life, earlier on,
Mhm.
getting into education.
Mhm.
Definitely so. Makes a big difference. So, Walt, folks like you who jump right on in, hit the ground running, you found your wings, man, and so we're excited.
Yes. Yes.
Years
Yes.
from now, we're gonna have your students gonna be talking about, how you impacted their lives. It's always great to see how that trickles down. Yes,
Yes.
hmm
indeed. I bet
Yes.
you
hmm
jump on desks, all kinds of stuff. I bet you're very animated in the classroom.
Yes, I show them all how teachers can be cool. I show them stuff that goes on to the video of I done did skydiving and other few things before.
Wait a
So
minute. Hold on. Wait a
yeah,
minute.
they see stuff like that and they like, oh wow, we didn't know. I said, yeah, teachers can be cool, you know.
I that's not the adjective I would use when you went skydiving.
well, well,
And there was
we'll
nothing
probably
wrong
use
with the
crazy.
plane.
We'll probably use
Yeah.
crazy.
Out of a well oiled and working plane. Nothing wrong with the plane. You just decided to jump out.
Yes,
Mm-mm,
yeah,
mm-mm.
yes,
If y'all see me
yes.
coming out of plane, somebody push me. That's all I'm gonna say. I've been pushed.
I promise you, if that door open up and I'm in the air, it's a problem already.
Yeah. I'm glad I had an instructor because my legs stopped moving when that door opened up. I'm
Yeah,
right with y'all.
that's not a normal thing. That's
Mm-mm,
not
mm-mm,
God did
mm-mm.
not call us
No.
to
Mm-mm,
haul ourselves out of planes.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
That's not a normal thing for to you to not be able to truly see the ground and you trying to jump out. Oh, no,
Yeah.
Father.
Different feeling for sure. Glad I got
Yeah,
that bucket
you a
list moment
thrill
out the
seeker.
way.
See now that makes sense how you can be in a second grade
Yeah, that's
classroom
there it
because you
goes.
a
Makes
thrill
sense.
seeker.
Makes
Yeah,
sense, right? Makes
yeah. You
So,
like a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You're never bored when you
Mm-mm.
working with little
Never
people.
bored.
And you gotta stay on your toes and be ready
Yes.
to jump out of a plane.
Yes, they will
mhm.
keep you on your toes for sure.
Well, in a challenging time, because I know people are looking at education as a challenge right now.
Mhm.
You have a lot of teachers retiring,
Yes.
because things are changing. You look at all
Yes.
of the influences out there now. The communities look different.
Yes.
The scenarios. We're looking at some of the adverse childhood experiences, the traumas that are occurring right now,
Yeah.
and teachers having to learn to interact and integrate more social emotional stuff,
Yes.
and which we're giving that a title now, that whole social emotional learning piece. And I often tell folks when I'm working in this area and doing this work and talking about social emotional learning, I just remind people, it was simple love and kindness is what it was called. You had teachers who showed you love, showed you kindness.
Humanity.
Exactly,
Yes.
who took time to understand you. And that's what I see in you working with our kids. And so what would you say to a young man who's trying to find his way and wanting to look at opportunities, and career choices and all or whatever? How would you influence that young man to consider teaching, especially at the elementary school level?
Follow your heart, follow
Hmm.
your passion. See see the need, see where you
Hmm.
can help it out, where you can help out in that need, and
Hmm.
don't be scared to go for it. I look at it like we only had this one life. So
Hmm.
you don't want to have any regret. You don't want to be thinking like, oh man, I should have did this. I should have did this. I should have did
Hmm.
that. Especially as a young man, if you put in your mind like we do have one life, but at the same time you can I, you would want to say because you're young that you have time, but if you look at it like you don't, and you putting your best
Hmm.
foot forward, and you jumping in what you need to jump in, and you're doing what you need to do, then it'll be the right place for you. It'll be the right place
Hmm.
for you to grow. It'll be the right place for you to thrive. Your students to grow. Your students to
Hmm.
thrive, and it'll be the best thing ever. If you don't feel like people love you, go outside and let some of
Hmm.
your kids in your class see you
Hmm.
outside. If you didn't feel like you was a superstar of love, they gonna let you feel the love.
If they see you in public, whether you a
Yes.
good teacher, sometimes even if you are a fixed teacher, they get excited to see you
Yes.
just
Yes.
in the public.
They not used to you outside of
What
the
are you
school.
doing here?
Like, oh my goodness, you outside too? We didn't know you got out. Yeah, I'm out. We
What?
at the same grocery store today. Hey,
Right, right. And see somebody
Sometimes
out
they may have
eating.
a second job as a
yes.
server or something else. They bump into you that way too.
Yes, and then they'll come with their parents, and you might have went to school like you guys were saying that
Hmm.
you might be in somewhere in the community where you actually teaching. It's really no
Hmm.
days off, so you can't go out here. That's another thing I will tell them. If this is the route you're gonna go, which is the best route, you can't be
Uh-huh.
out here wilding out
Right.
because the kids gonna see you, the parents can see you, and they both can
Hmm.
see you at the same time. So it's
Hmm.
And
like
people
they'll
take
walk
pictures
up on you.
nowadays.
Yeah, and then it could be one of the parents, could be somebody you went to school with. And they be like,
Right.
see, I told you this Mr. Jones. And then y'all will start talking. So it's
Hmm.
really the give it to somebody that's younger to jump into it. Go ahead.
Hmm.
Go ahead and
Hmm.
do it because it'll be one of the greatest things that you can do
Hmm.
because you're giving back in ways you don't even know. Like I said, we started off. I do a lot of community stuff. At the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, teaching, it's almost like it
Mm-hmm.
sums up everything because we talk about community cleanups. You got that in the
Mm-hmm.
second grade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You talk about de-escalating, counselor, the whole
Mm-hmm.
nine. You got it. And my main thing is building them up. It's things like
Mm-hmm.
words of affirmation that we'll say every morning. I'm important. I'm a problem solver. I'm
Mm-hmm.
strong. I am love. I am enough. And I had them
Mm-hmm.
kids saying it every morning. So if they
Mm.
leave that,
I
that's
want to
something
come
that's gonna
see
stay
that.
with them.
I want to come see that.
Yeah, it's on the board. It's right on the board.
It's
Uh-huh.
It's right
nothing
on the.
like seeing little kids speak
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh my word.
Yes. And it makes
Mm-hmm.
so every like that means a lot to me. With you saying that because it's more like it brings it full circle. Like if we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell somebody that's younger, hey, this is what it brings it all full circle. I can name about 10 or 11 things I've done in the community. Me teaching seems like I'm doing all those things in one, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
impacting a life that the youth, these kids can grow up and maybe they can remember Mr. Jones as their second grade teacher because they remember the way he carried himself. They can remember, hey, this young African American male came to school every day as our teacher, and he came with a suit and tie on. He came with a
Mm-hmm.
suit and button up on. He
Mm-hmm.
came dressed to impress. I mean, I have tattoos from my younger years that's been there for
Mm-hmm.
a while, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
out there with recess with them,
Mm-hmm.
lunch with them, but recess I'm out there playing with them. I might catch a ball. Mr. Jones, we didn't know you had tattoos. I'm like, oh, okay, let me scoot this back on down. We all get a good laugh, but it'll be the best chance and best opportunity that they could do
Mm-hmm.
going and doing this field because the word I was thinking of was rewarding. It's very
Mm-hmm.
rewarding field to
Mm-hmm.
be in.
Mm-hmm. Well, the biggest thing that I hear from you right now, especially as you're working with those kids, I mean, I can see the excitement on your face, you know.
Yes.
Um,
It's contagious.
yeah, it is.
Yes.
But the thing is, you're relatable, to the kids, and that's the piece. When kids can see who you are and recognize that you care,
Yes.
they will open up and perform, and they will give you their best because the mindset is you are giving them your best,
Hmm.
you know.
They don't want to cheat you. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
Yes. Yes.
mm-mm. Not at
Yes.
all. Not at all. And the thing is, um, sometimes that we look at our kids and working with parents sometimes, especially having to remind them that their kids are doing what they're supposed to do. We look at the stages of development, you know, kids are doing certain things or whatever, and parents are bringing their kids in for therapy and they're like, Doc, fix them. And I'm just looking, I pull out the developmental chart. Okay, she's doing this, he's doing that. Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
they're supposed to be
they're
doing.
supposed to be
Yes.
doing it at that age, and helping them
Yes.
to understand that guess what? That cognitive thinking, that reasoning, it's not there and it's going to be a while. So prepare yourself,
Yes.
and trying
Yes.
to get them to understand that and reminding them you're the adult. You have to manage this process for them. And what we do is
Yes.
certainly going to make a big difference in terms of where they go in life and
Yes.
how fast it's going to take them to get there or how slow it's going to take them to get there.
Yes.
And so once I remind parents of what it was like, and it's like, this is what they're supposed to do. Now think back and think of the things that you did. Now, I will say this, the things that these kids are dealing with nowadays.
Yes.
I've said it on the show before. The internet, in my opinion, has been a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
You know, it has exposed our kids to so much,
Yes.
and so not having that reasoning skills set because their brain isn't developed in that area, it's a challenge. It certainly
It's
is
a
a challenge.
challenge. It is.
Yeah.
Them not understanding the long-term consequences of their behaviors and how the things that they do impact other people and
hmm
how anonymity is not really anonymity.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't
hmm
give you a right to be a bully or anything else because you think no one will find out when in fact everyone will still find out.
Yes.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
And,
doesn't always encourage the best out
hmm
Yeah.
of the young people. It doesn't bring that out always.
hmm
But it is a
Right.
tool, and that's what it should be used as, a tool.
hmm Yeah. And right now, these kids are recording everything.
Yes.
They're
Woo!
accepting all of the TikTok challenges and
Hmm. Every one of them.
Look, it's not even just the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
so
parents.
You see,
It's the parents. It's the it's a lot of
hey,
people.
they're doing them together. They're
right.
doing
And in some ways, it's enlightening and it's a good like community
hmm
way of bringing people together. And
hmm
it just really depends on, what the song is and what the purpose is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I'm gonna tell you, I still haven't figured out this whole 6-7 thing.
Yeah.
I just 6-7,
Yeah.
6-7. I just smile at the kids like, okay.
Yeah.
I said I'm hoping that I'm not encouraging something bad. You know what I'm
I think you might want to stop smiling.
It's
It's
yeah,
it's
I
it's
heard
like
I heard a lot of different reviews. They they now the kids used to do it so much. A lot of them say, "Oh, that was leave that in 2025." So they must have heard a lot of teachers and parents tell them leave that in 2025 because all the kids.
yeah, that's dated to them now.
Well, that's good because I'm like
Amen.
I
Yeah,
had
you did
no
right.
idea, But you know me, I'm gonna ask the kids, and so the ones that I've asked, they have no clue,
No.
They don't know what it means.
And it's like they
They
saw
don't know.
something. I don't know if it was one of those little kid
A
shows
video, something
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
and that's what they saw it on, and it just
Hmm.
caught on. It's
Yeah.
like okay, if
Yep.
that's what we're doing now.
We can let it go.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy to have left that in 2025.
I
Oh,
think if we ignore it enough, they'll just stop. They'll change. They'll go to something else.
It's
mm-hmm,
coming.
mm-hmm,
It's coming.
mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm,
just the timing of you think about what we would talk about,
Yeah.
and we could even tease you out because we may not even be using the same language, So essentially, yeah, things change so quickly, so quickly.
Yeah. And you have to stay up on what they're doing. And that's the other thing,
Yes.
um, going to workshops and conferences and stuff like that or whatever, you hear about some of the new trends that's happening that are happening with kids and stuff like that or whatever. Unfortunately, being able to go to different conferences that bring in a number of different educators from across the country, you hear what they're working on, dealing with the trends. And right now, of course, everybody's talking about AI,
Yes.
and what that means and all or whatever. And so you have some people who are afraid of this AI movement, and then some who are embracing it,
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this not too long ago, just in terms of, where does it fit? And that's the part of trying to figure out how do we make sure we are using it as a tool so that our kids can still learn all of the things they want to learn. And I made the comment to one of the gentlemen in the group. We were just talking about AI and so on, and the use of AI and all. And so he was so adamantly against AI and all. And I told him, I said, it made me just think back. I said, let me put this in perspective. I said, I remember in elementary school, um, calculators were the thing. No, you cannot use a calculator. And that was the thing. We had to learn multiplication tables and everything or whatever. It's like, okay, but now guess what? We use these things. Does it take away from the fact that I had to learn how to multiply? I can do it in my head, but I don't have to,
Yes.
at this
Mhm.
point. But I still know how to check the answer. If the calculator's malfunctioning and printing
Yeah.
something wrong, I still know how to check that, check the
Yes.
calculator.
Hmm.
I know what
Yes.
7 times 10 is, but if the calculator's putting out 68 and I'm like, no, it's 70.
Yeah, that don't
I,
sound
I
right.
need to
Yeah.
be able to correct that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so therefore you learn. I remember one of my teachers, she told us how to use the calculator. We learn how to use these graphing calculators. I mean, the calculators have just evolved over time,
Yes.
but we
Yes.
we learn how to use those things, but also how to make sure we still had our brain power and we could, basically do these things ourselves. So
Yeah.
it makes a big difference.
Yes.
It
We
definitely
definitely
makes
have
a
to
big
keep up with
difference.
those challenges.
Yes.
Look,
Yeah.
before we run out of time, I wanted to give Walt a chance to talk about his book.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
I
I
know you may have forgotten, but I want to make sure that you know.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. Yeah, look, I could talk to you guys all day. I wouldn't
That
even be talking
listen,
about
that's how we
myself. You
like it
guys,
too.
we could be going in. The I love this, and thank you guys again. The name of the book is Wildlife Magic. It's on Amazon, and it's called Wildlife Magic. Because it's letting the youth know. It's for a book. I wanted to say the middle school range, between the
Hmm.
sixth and the eighth grade.
Hmm.
To where it's letting them know that they are the gift. It's letting them know they hear enough negative stuff is going on in the world on our youth and everything,
Hmm.
and they need to hear positive encouragement,
Hmm.
positive words, positive affirmations, and all that stuff. And it was just basically no, it was a short read, because I didn't like to read coming up, and some people are different. But I figure
Hmm.
if you start off with, hey, 50 pages here, 100 pages here, and it's
Hmm.
good, then they want to read more and more and
Hmm.
more. Next thing you know, they're reading without having the book. Like, they have stuff now where they could just put the headphones in, and the book
Hmm.
they don't have to read a thing. But not using
Hmm.
that as a crutch, more so putting their eyes in the book, reading it, following along,
Hmm.
and that's what it's just about, to let them know the day of the gift. It's on Amazon, and it's doing pretty well.
Hmm.
And one day my goal is to have it in a few schools or a few other communities, a few
Hmm.
community centers as well, just to like let the kids know that they are the gift and they can use it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's what the book is basically about.
They are
Okay.
the gift and they can use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
All
can
right.
use their gifts.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can use it.
I like it. I like it. So what's next for Walt? What's next for Walt?
The sky's the limit. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna pray for me as we try to finish out. We about to go into our
Hmm.
fourth quarter pretty soon in the school year. Um,
Hmm.
Summer school, I'm gonna enjoy doing that as well,
Hmm.
and just continue to learn and grow. Happy to be back home in the 757, the Hampton area. Um,
Hmm.
Glad to be back closer to family. And just keep on with the community events.
Hmm.
Keep on doing my part in the community, trying to do my part even more with the kids and in the school system
Hmm.
and whatever they got. And I know next up, I saw something uh, on my feed about a few weeks ago, as far as Hampton City Schools is doing something for a 5K for the teachers
Hmm.
or the admin. So I'm gonna go ahead and punch my ticket in, and I'm normally used
Really?
to like setting up stuff like that. But I
Okay.
didn't want to. I believe everything doing it in decency and order. So I'm gonna push
Hmm.
mine back, and I'm gonna join that because I am a
Hmm.
teacher. I'm in the city of Hampton. I'm a part of
Hmm.
HCS. So what better way than to jump into that? So I believe that's May. I don't want to say the wrong date. I think it's May
Hmm.
4th, but it's around that time frame.
Hmm.
Doing that and just door to door with voting, getting people voting registered, and getting
Hmm.
people to vote on the right
Hmm.
people in office to continue to make our city the best city it can be in the school system and around
Hmm.
in the streets as well.
Hmm. Well, I tell you, I'm one for thank you for one, for certainly being involved,
Mhm.
and definitely appreciate your support, and what you're doing out here in the community promoting education and all, especially for our young people. So thank you for all that you are doing. One other thing I do want to tap into real quick. Where can people go? How can they find out a little bit more about your family? Because see, you glossed over that, but that is so significant to me. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Where can people go to find out more information about the Tucker family?
They can go on Google, or they can go online. We also have a 1624 society. It's called the
Hmm.
William Tucker 1624 Society. And they can go and they also do trips also, which I'm saving up for next year. But
Hmm.
they do trips also back to the motherland, which is Angola. And
Hmm.
they talk to the ambassadors of Angola anytime they come down in the US in DC area or anything of that sort. They'll go over there. A few members of city council actually went with the family to Angola. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
a good journey. And I know some of them say, well, Walt, when you gonna go? And I'm like, I have 3 kids, so give me about another year and then I'll make my way. So yeah, it's William Tucker Society 1624. They can also go on any of the sites that actually came down, like USA Today or CNN or
Mm-hmm.
MSNBC. It came down to do coverage of that because it's major. It's not just history, it's our
Mm-hmm.
history, it's our story. And everybody
Mm-hmm.
we all come from kings and queens and great heritage and lineage. And I'm just happy to be a part of that. So they can go to that. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
William Tucker Society 1624. It'll let them know future events. It'll let them know the history, all about it. And it really dive deep into where we came from.
All right, all right. Well, thank you so much. I tell you, I've enjoyed this conversation. I've enjoyed the
Yes.
food was good today too. But
Yes.
I tell so definitely thank you, Walt, for being here with us today.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I am Dr. Richard Mason.
And I am Dr. Tamara Williams.
Thank you so much for joining us at the table right here at WHOV Smooth 88.1 FM, the most delicious hour in radio.
The essence of HU.
Keep your fork.
Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
Thank you for joining us at the table.
Tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. for more delicious topical recipes for life on the Sunday Brunch.
On Smooth 88.1 WHOV.